So yeah, my name's Gavin from Cloud. I'm the partner manager there, so hence working with Virtue. So today, just wanted to give a brief kind of overview of our kind of platform and what we do and some of the feature sets around it. You know, in 15-20 minutes, there's only so much you can go into, but hopefully just give you a bit of a kind of flavour of kind of what we do and how we work. Just to give you kind of initially a little bit of background, so Cloud started about 5 years ago. It started with identity experts who are a hell of a lot cleverer than me and saw the way it was going. Identity was going to be very much kind of part of the kind of IT strategy moving forward, especially with Office 365 coming in. Our first couple of actual kind of work we got was from Microsoft, so we worked with them very closely. Was education universities that had users in their Active Directory and were struggling to get them into their Office 365 tenancy. So that's kind of where it's born from. And what we've done since then, we've kind of keep iterating the platform and adding kind of new and better features to it. So that's what I can kind of run through and show you a little bit today. So this is just to give you an idea of kind of numbers of Cloud, to give you an idea. We start anything from kind of schools with hundreds of users up to I think 400,000 or 500,000 is our biggest customer user-wise in Arizona. We work globally. The education, so when the company started, it wasn't necessarily aimed in the education market, and we do work in various different verticals as well. However, just the way the platform works, how scalable it is, it's lent itself very well to the education market, especially with Office 365 being taken up. I believe it's about 60-65% of our customers at the moment are in education, and that goes, as I said, from schools right up to large universities. Just gives you a kind of snapshot of some of the numbers that we've got with an Cloud. So we're currently we're fully hosted on Azure. So some of the benefits are obviously the billions of pounds that Microsoft put into their Azure. We get the benefits of that. And we're currently the largest Azure deployment in Europe at the moment. We've got deployed in about 44 countries worldwide. This isn't education, but just to give you an idea of the complexity that we can work within. One of our big customers is Save the Children International. They have 40 different Active Directories in 40 different countries that they wanted to bring into one Office 365 tenancy. That's one of the first kind of jobs that we've done. So it just gives you an idea of kind of how we can work. Over 4 million users on our platform currently, 170 million authentications every week, so it's pretty large, and uptime of 99.95%. So, in very simplest form, what we do is we can take users from an Active Directory or other sources, as I can speak about a little bit more in a minute, put them into what we call our Cloud Vault, so the Cloud Vault, and then we can push them out into the various applications doing access and authentication. Because we're doing that in the cloud, it gives us the ability to kind of provide some of these kind of feature sets that we've got at the moment. But that's its kind of simplest form. So some of the feature sets we've got around it. So the main is the identity management. So as I said, we can make that a lot simpler and bring those users in, push them out to the various applications that you've got. We do talk about Office 365 a lot. To us, it is just an application. Any applications that are SAML-based, then we can work with as well. Anything, if you've got ADFS and DIRSing, we can work with on single sign-on as well. As part of the platform, on its kind of base model, you get up to 5 of those applications, which certainly if it's in the schools environment, we tend to find that probably covers it anyway at the moment, but we can go over and above that as well. Enterprise level single sign-on, so it is genuine enterprise level, so it's signing onto your desktop and you're then single signed on into your applications. It's not a case of logging on and going into a portal, which quite a lot of the kind of packages you see are. I'm not sure how they call it single sign-on when you sign on twice, but for some reason that seems to be the case. With ours, it is sign onto your desktop and you then get into your applications. What we do have is an actual portal, so all of these features, which I'll talk about a bit more in a minute, are actually centrally managed. So you've got 40, you can go in and you can see your users, you've got your users that aren't being pushed to any applications, you can make changes to your applications and the feature sets that we've got, so it gives you that nice kind of place where you can do all of that. So this is a kind of big one really that we've got, kind of one of our biggest features, so Cloud Drive Mapper, which we've got at the moment. So if you're using Office 365, which I understand a fair amount of people are, or most people are, you've got OneDrive for Business and SharePoint Online. Has anyone had kind of synchronization problems? Anyone using that and come across those kind of problems? Or?
We don't want anybody to do it very well.
Yeah. So what we we've done, what the developer's done, is come up with a feature set that kind of gets around that really. So that's called Cloud Drive Mapper. It's a feature that can be taken totally standalone, and we've got kind of various customers that actually do that as well. What it does effectively, it turns your drive letters, it maps them into OneDrive for Business and SharePoint Online, making it like network storage, but fully hosted in the cloud. The massive benefits of it are the user experience. If anyone's ever used drive letters, which everyone has, that's all you need to know. You haven't got to teach, you haven't got to kind of educate anyone. That's the way it works. Because it's also rolled into our platform, you get all the identity management with that. So, meaning that with our platform, we do something called classifications. That means you can classify users in certain classifications, whether it's staff, students, or year groups, whatever you want it to be. That rolls in with Cloud Drive Mapper as well. So you can have one student in one classification that gets access to a X and a Y drive, as an example, as well as their own OneDrive for Business, and you get another pupil getting access to a E and an F drive, as an example, and you can kind of make that as granular as you want it. It's very easy to roll out. As I said, you can take that as a standalone product. It works with our platform. If you've got existing ADFS and DIRSync in place, it works absolutely fine with that, and you'll still get the single sign-on element to it as well. It can be totally standalone if you don't have any of that set up and you don't use the full platform, although it would mean there'd be more of a case of actually needing to add your credentials in when you're using it. As I said, it's very quick to set up. We have demos of this available, or trials I should say, 7-day trials, which are very easily set up. Get it set up in a couple of days and you can be testing it and have a look at it. So it's quite a big feature for us. What I'll do after this, we'll get some documentation we can send out so everyone can see it in a little bit more detail about kind of what we've got. Another feature on there, so this is a big one that we're just rolling out at the moment, so it's SIMS integration. So again, included in the overall package we've got, we're looking to integrate with Capita SIMS. So the idea is to make that your source of truth. So you have a new student or wherever it is start, the information is put into SIMS, that is then extracted out using our platform and then pushed into your AD, given an email address, pushed into Office 365 tenancy. So it's kind of really clever feature. I know there are a few out there at the moment, but linked in with our full kind of overall package, it will do a lot more. It can take out the attributes you want. So it's quite clever. We do it at the moment with Workday and PeopleSoft as well, which is probably less relevant in here, but we're building that up more in the system. So it's quite a big one, that really, and it's included in the kind of packages that we've got. Also in there is password reset, so self-service password reset, and it's currently challenge response. We're also kind of working on that, so there will be other ways to do it at the moment. So your users can reset their own password. We know that can be a kind of big problem. Again, bear in mind all these features, you can kind of choose what you want to use in a way. You don't have to use everything. If you don't have self-service password reset at the moment, you don't have to use it. If you only want it for staff, you can set it up. It's very kind of, it can be moulded to the way you want to use it particularly. The other one, which is now just launched at the moment, is advanced password reset. So you can actually get users to reset their password from their login screen, so before they're actually logging in. So that is a kind of next step up in the package that we've got, but it gives you that kind of ability to do that as well. Because our platform is always kind of moving and changing and kind of getting better, so a lot of these features it's always going to get added to or made better. Next one on there, session timeout, probably less. Just briefly, all that is SharePoint, so you can actually, at the moment, if you log into SharePoint, it keeps you logged in for like 10 or 12 hours. We worked with a police department in the States who had to get logged out quickly, so we worked with them. It ended up being a feature we've got, so it logs you out after like 10 seconds. So that's another kind of good point. We do work with schools, the partners, so if you've got ideas or you've got things that actually you feel could bring to the platform, we very much work with you to bring those out, and a lot of the features we've got have come kind of from that. So this is a step one, and this is more for the kind of multi-academy trust potentially. By using our platform, we can also offer Active Directory migrations. So that's many into one, one into many, and we can also do cloud mail migrations. So 365 to 365, Google to 365. They're separate to the platform, so you don't get that free with the platform, but they're all things that we can do. And so in the multi-academy trust, that's probably more relevant if you're bringing in various schools kind of together. Again, we can give more detail kind of moving down the line. Touch points, this is quite a clever one. So this is, again, because we're doing all the authentication and access in the cloud, it gives us the ability to stop when the user's logging in. So on here, for users logging in, you can set up what's called a touchpoint message. So as the user is logging in, you can send a targeted message, again via classification, so if it's only going to year 7 or it's going to students or staff, however you want it set up, and you can send them a communication. You can put, I think, 180 characters, hyperlinks in there. Could be that a certain application is not working that day, or IT isn't around, or whatever it may be, or different lunch at the canteen, or whatever it may be. You can add that, and you can actually send that message targeted to the users as well. And we are currently working on what's called post-authentication touchpoints. So that's once the user is actually logged in, you'll be able to send those targeted messages as well. So that would be if there's more maybe terms and conditions or more kind of private things that need to be sent out, you'd be able to do that as well. And this is all pretty much on our kind of base plan of our package that we've got at the moment. So you get all of these feature sets within it. Generally what we tend to find is in the schools is that actually you might be looking at 1 or 2 of these. So you might just be wanting single sign-on. You might be looking at this kind of cloud drive mapper type feature, and actually you get all of the other feature sets around it, so you can decide kind of which bits kind of work for you and which bits you want to use. So this is kind of specifically around multi-academy trust, so the way we can kind of work. So federation, so provides federation experience between the different kind of schools. So we've got various cases at the moment where we've got certain users that want to have the federated single sign-on experience. It doesn't matter which school they're going into. That's something that we can kind of work and help you to achieve. So it's all these kind of the complex setups that you kind of may have by the multi-academy trust, we can make it a hell of a lot simpler. Flexibility as well, so whether you've got one Active Directory, whether you've got many, as you can see from some of the migration work, we can help you bring that into one Active Directory you want as well. Something with that, just I kind of didn't touch on it as much, is that we can also have users just in our cloud vault. So we do it more in universities when you've got alumni, but actually if you've got parents that need to log onto certain systems but you don't want them on your Active Directory, we can host them purely in the cloud and give them access to all these features, so the single sign-on and reset their own passwords. So we can actually look at doing that as well. So that's stepping a bit out of normal, but that's all part of the package that we can offer as well. And growth as well. So we're growing massively, and we can help you with your IT. So if you're starting off with 2 or 3 schools in the academy, I imagine the idea moving on down the line might well be that you're picking up more and more schools as you go. Our platform is exactly kind of made for that, really, to grow with you in the school. So just a couple of these snapshots of why cloud. So simple and fast. So all of our the setup is all included in the pricing that we have. It's massively reduced pricing, as you'd expect in the education market. Literally kind of pence per user, 6p, 9p per user per month, depending on what you're looking to use from it. And we help you with the setup as well. So when you actually get it set up on the platform, we help you to make sure it ends up working exactly the way you kind of want it to from the beginning. As I said, it works with existing ADFS nursing setup. We can run alongside it. Very flexible around that. Feature rich, which you've seen as well, really, and customizable, as we said as well, so we can make sure it works for you and your kind of school particularly. Cloud Drive Mapper, kind of what I'll do is pretty easy to be fair. I'll put at the end of this so we can get some documents sent out around that as well. Cloud Drive Mapper, I think it's fairly self-explanatory of how it works, and I would have shown a demo today, but it's the most boring, kind of quickest demo in the world, so I've saved you from that one. It just works basically. This just gives you a little snapshot of us showing off some of the customers that we've got. As I said, user counts, we literally go from hundreds up to hundreds of thousands in each particular customer. So, and we do have a lot of kind of traction in the kind of schools market. Especially around the SIMS integration is going to be absolutely massive. The Cloud Drive Mapper is standalone, and just for that single sign-on experience, because as everyone knows, whether you're in school or out of school, trying to remember passwords I can't remember any passwords, so it's a pain. That's fine, that's just some characters of us to fill up. So that's kind of it really. It's fairly quick, but it gives you a kind of idea of kind of how it works.